Hi friends, welcome to the first session prerequisite to N10. To learn N10, you need to have the idea of the JSON. Okay, JSON is very simple structure. In this session, I will explain JSON in very simple manner. Please follow, be focused. If you don't have idea, this is the wonderful session for you to understand about JSON. And whatever the exercise I given, please practice it. Let's dive in. So friends, first try to understand what is JSON, why JSON is required. So JSON is simply a package of data. So when you transferring data from one point to other point, you need to wrap the data inside some package and you will transfer that package from one point to other point. So JSON will carry the data. So we will put the data inside the JSON and the JSON would carry the data from point to point. So how the JSON carrying the data? So JSON is simply a representation of data, right? For example, you have an information of a student. Okay, the student look likes this. I need to represent the information of student. What are the properties of student? Student has a name, and student has his number, and student has his address, right? And class. So these are some properties of student. For example, there is a student, his name is Ramu, and his number is 11, and address is he stays in Hyderabad, and his class is, for suppose, 10th class. This is about the information about the student. So if you want to represent this information, we will represent in JSON as a JSON object. Remember the terminology JSON object. JSON object means is a set of key value pairs. Key value pairs. Here, what is key and what is value? The JSON object is represented like this. It is a starting with the curly and closing with the curly brackets. So now I need to represent this entire data inside the JSON object. This is called JSON object. Some people call it as a JSON map and some people call it JSON object. Both are same. So JSON object, I'm representing this data in the JSON object. So first, what is the key? This is the key, and this column we call as a value, right? The first key is a name, so it represents this double quotes name, and there's a colon. It separates key and value. Value is Ramu, and this is the first entry. And second entry, you need to put a comma, and number is the second key, and close colon. First number, we don't require to put the quotes like this. This is only for textual information. Rama is text character, right? Therefore, we put for numbers, the double quotes are not required. And for address, and put Hyderabad, HYD. And finally, this comma required over here. Comma required each and every entry in the ending of each and every entry. Again, comma. On the last key. Last key is the class. And the value is 10th. So this information, this is a JSON object. This JSON object represents a student information. Student Ramu information precisely, right? So what to understand about the JSON? JSON is a kind of the package that carries some information. Okay. Here that information in the key value pairs, right? Sometimes the JSON carries the array information. Array means collection of multiple things. But suppose there is information of Indian cities, Indian metropolitan cities, okay, Indian metro cities. So in Indian metro cities, there are few cities are there like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, Sorry, my Bangalore and Hyderabad. So I think okay, there are few more cities. I've cities, some cities like I want to represent the Indian metro cities. It's a collection, right? Collection represented by a square bracket. This is a square bracket. Now, this array of cities means collection. It's not one collection of cities. So here collection of strings, right? These are all called textual information, strings. Strings are represented by, you need to put double quotes like this. For each string, you need to put a double quote. And after each string, you need to put a comma. Now, this entire structure represents the cities of the India. That is a JSON array. This is called JSON array. The earlier key value pair we call as a JSON object. The second collection of cities is not a key value pair, right? It is a zeroth city, first city, second city, third city, fourth city, fifth city. This name of this structure is Indian metro cities. Okay, each structure has a name. This name of city, this structure is Indian metro cities. The name of this structure is a student. Right? Student is a JSON object. It contains the key value pairs, whereas the Indian metro cities is a collection of the strings, collection of strings. Each string is a city. I think up to this point you are very clear, very simple terms, right? So this entire one is JSON, JSON array, JSON string, JSON object, JSON string. Now JSON has the JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. JavaScript Object. Yes. Object Notation. This is a full form of the JSON. JavaScript Object Notation. JSON. JSON, right? So in the JSON, there are totally 4 kinds of data types. Total 5 kinds. One is a string. String is represented by double quotes. Suppose name of the person like Venkat. This is JSON string. Okay. JSON string. Some number. 16 is a JSON number, right? It is a number. And true or false. This is a boolean. It's called as a boolean. And JSON array, JSON object. So totally 5 data types will support the JSON. Okay. Now, why we use the JSON? We use the JSON to carry the information that I told in the start of the session, right? So let me go back to my mind map once again. The object of JSON is to first is to understand the basic structure and syntax of JSON, and we create, manipulate JSON data and use the JSON in practical scenarios such as web development and API interactions. This is the primary object of the session. And this is the JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Is a lightweight, human readable data interchange format commonly used in web development, APIs, configuration files, and data storage. So these things seems a little technical to you, but the main intention is by seeing the data, by seeing the JSON, we can understand what's the JSON talking about. For example, now before I shown you data of the student, I represented data of student name, Ramu key value pairs, right? So by seeing that, I can understand, oh, yes, this is the information of a student. By seeing the cities collection, yes, this is the information about Indian cities. That's a human readable and human understandable format. Okay. So this JSON is understandable by human as well as understandable by machines. So all the applications also can able to understand the JSON, right? So therefore is a human understandable thing and machine understandable thing. The JSON we used in APIs to develop web applications, multiple things. So now I don't want to confuse everything about the JSON. I want to discuss what is required for Enlighten, right? JSON is a platform independent. These are all things I will discuss. I don't want to confuse more. Now, coming to again, the JSON. The first point I told you, JSON is kind of package where it holds the information or data. That is a package. Okay. So I told the JSON object is a key value pairs. Second step. JSON object means it's a key value pairs. Key value pairs. And JSON array is about the collection. Collections means multiple objects. It contains multiple objects. Now, if you understand this point, you will understand everything about the JSON. Yeah. Now, whatever point I'm telling, that is very, very, very important. Focus. And if you understand this point, done. That thing, everything JSON. So the JSON is mixture of the objects and arrays. Real-time JSON, if you see the JSON might be always not. Always JSON is not a mixture of objects and arrays. Sometimes the JSON document is mixture of objects and arrays. Right? If you understand this point, if you see any JSON document, you easily understand what is a mixture of objects and arrays. Right? So I have a JSON array. So earlier I shown the JSON array of Indian cities. So that is JSON array of strings. I put all Indian cities, right? Delhi, Mumbai, like this, right? So if I put like this is called JSON array of strings. I may have array of integers, something like that, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also JSON array, but this is JSON array of integers. If I put Delhi, Hyderabad, or everything like this, called a JSON array of strings, right? Array of strings, and second is array of integers. And you may have the array of Boolean also, like true, false. Boolean means it is either true or false, nothing, right? 0 or 1, like that. Okay, true or false. This is the array of Booleans. Now finally, you may have array of objects. JSON array of objects, that is a pure mixture. How JSON array of objects look like? There is a one student, we can represent that student into single JSON object. Here is a one student, a single JSON object. For example, you have a class. In that class, I have the 4 students. 4 students, how can I represent the 4 students? Multiple things means we need a JSON array, right? For to represent 4 students, I need a JSON array, right? We need JSON array. JSON array, how JSON array look like? It start with square bracket, right? JSON array look like square bracket. And inside this JSON array, I need 4 JSON object. Each object represents one student. Like this is a one student, and the second comma, and second student, like that. I have 4 students, right? Inside this JSON object, I represent the information of the student. Name is a key, and colon is a separator, and Ramu. Ramu is the value of them, right? Comma, something like roll number. Roll number is a key, and value is 11. This is first student information. And second student information, same. Name, Raju, comma, and roll number, like 12. So here, this JSON array contains 2 students information. The first student is Ramu, is roll number 11, and second is Raju, and roll number 12. So this is mixture, right? This array contains objects, right? This object contains, again, the key value pairs. Okay. Now sometimes JSON object contains JSON array. For example, this is a JSON object. Here, this object is a representation of the city. Assume like that. City Hyderabad. Okay, city Hyderabad, and Hyderabad city contains more than 1 railway stations. Okay, railway stations. How many? 4 more than 1 railway stations. One is Secunderabad, and one is Kachiguda, so on, Challapalli, so on. Okay, so now the topmost level is the JSON object, is a key value pairs, right? Key value, and key, the value is an array, right? So in the above example, JSON array contains the JSON object, and the below example, JSON object contains the JSON array and example and a value, right? Okay, so this mixture Object contains array, array contains object, again object contains array. So this entire JSON structure is like that, right? Let me show you one real-time JSON, you can understand completely. So let me open one of the JSON objects like REST fake API, JSON placeholder. I've been showing some like something like users. Yeah, this entire thing is JSON, right? Let me copy this JSON. Let me put over here. So this is the JSON object. I don't know. Let me see. The topmost is a square bracket, right? The topmost triple square bracket means is JSON array or object. Is square bracket means the JSON array. Document JSON object topmost is a JSON array. Array of what? JSON array of what? Is array of strings, array of boolean, array of integers? No, it's array of objects, right? This is the first object up to this point. Up to this point, from start to this point is the first object. It's a zero, we call zeroth object. And see, from here to here, this is a second object, we call as the index as a 1, right? And here, starting to here to the close one, up to comma, this is the third object, like that. So this is JSON array. This JSON array is containing what? JSON objects. Each object represents a user information. The user is ID is 1, username is Leland Graham, address is something like this, it's a phone, is a website company. Each JSON object represents a user information, right? And if you observe, this JSON object internally contains another JSON object. Address is an object. Address is the key and value is an object, right? The geo is key and value is an object. Sometimes the key and value might be array, right? So topmost is JSON object, it contains the JSON, top of JSON array. JSON array contains the JSON objects. Objects inside contains one more objects, right? So by seeing document, we can need to understand that, okay, this document represents the user's information, more than one user, say 10 users information. Each user information has the key value pairs, and this address is represented as a, again, address is represented as a JSON object, internal JSON object. Here inside the JSON object, street is the key, and the suit is the key, APT is the value, city is the key, something is the value, something like that, right? So the first step is you need to understand JSON contains the information that is represented in either key value pairs or arrays. If you see the JSON document, typically it is a mixture of the arrays and objects. So friends, see maximum JSON, you need to go over here. This fake web services like JSON placeholder.ipcode.com, and you can have chance to see different kinds of JSON objects over here, right? Okay, and you can go one more website called JSON formatter. JSON formatter. Here you can check if you have any JSON document, we can validate the JSON document is valid or JSON document or not. Okay. So there are numerous resources available on the internet on the JSON, different articles available and double three schools and different stuff. And in YouTube, go any other resource and try to understand about the JSON. It hardly requires 1 hour to 2 hours. If you are not at all aware of the JSON, it requires 2 hours like that. If you're a little aware of this JSON, you will refresh the entire thing in 30 minutes only. So thank you so much. We'll see N10 prerequisite in next session, in next topic.